Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, or welcome to yet another fine edition of GNF Televisable, where we talk about all the hot button topics and anything else that feats our fancies. And as usual, I am one half or one fourth or whatever it is. I am the host with the mosties, the internet demon that is. I am the Canadian rogue, better known as Robert Kumans. And as usual, I bring you all the funs and favors, and I have in the background the man that makes the AI sing and sometimes talk. Sparky Tech, how you doing, Sparkles?
One of us. One of us.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of us.
I hear that people are still. I love it. I love it when people try to kind of bring me to that level of insanity, and I'm like, you know what? Show me what you got. I might consider it. I might consider it.
Yeah, I wasn't watching on the Twitch side. I was just listening to what you were reading off what they said. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
I mean,
It's gonna be a stream of me kind of bitching about some things, probably on and off.
what else is
I
new?
don't know.
We
I
have
don't
a
know.
lot.
The internet just rubbed me the wrong way this
One
week, I
doesn't the
guess.
internet rub anybody the wrong way? We've had a very unique week, I guess. We've had
Well,
Concord
let me.
hang on. We have had Concord that have died. We have Doctor people speculating on what Doctor Disrespect has stated, and then we have something called Stop Killing Games hashtag that is running amok.
That was
And
about that. Well, in all fairness, the Stop Killing Games thing ran its course like 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. It's an ongoing shit. It's an ongoing deal, but the main thing that I was going through looking at it was about a month ago. So
mm,
we were late on that party, and I made sure to note down Twitter and stuff like that. But it is what it is.
it is what it is. It is what
But
it.
I do want to say one thing,
Yes.
and we don't care here. I don't
Oh,
care. I know you don't care, and a lot of other people don't care. But it's just my advice to people, especially the artists, VTube artists, stuff like that. You can slide away with it in Rogue's chat, my chat, and a couple other people's chats. But
go for it.
it is kind of disrespectful to come in someone else's chat to hey, I'm a VTube artist. You need to buy my stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said before, when it comes
I mean,
down,
come on. It's like, come on, now take us out to dinner first. I mean,
yeah, I know, right?
chat around a little bit.
I'm
Interact
all
with
in
the
favor
community a
with.
little bit.
I'm all in favor with this listening. I get it. It's hard living out there. I get it. And I'm all in favor for trying to get some work for people. I mean, I've helped Smosh. I've helped a lot of other artists out there.
Same
Hell,
here.
and I've tried my
Maverick
best to
Vortex,
do.
one of my favorite ones.
I know. I've also tried to encourage our designer that we have, Panina Chan, to keep doing her bit, but
Where
she'd
she does
rather
stuff.
do real work, and she doesn't have real good time, and she's all over the place.
I was gonna say she does stuff.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I
I'm
mean.
shocked as you are that she actually does stuff, but it's her job. She does that
And
for a living. So
yeah, and like I said, I say this not to be disparaging to the person. I don't want to do that. That's why I preface that. Well, you can get away with that with our chats.
yeah,
Because like I said, in the day we don't care. But
nah.
I do know many of other people, especially other VTubers and stuff like that, like Mama Arco and some other people.
Oh, there'll be
They
a lot
might
of
be
people that think like that. Yeah.
they might be cool with it
At
in
first,
passing,
yeah,
but trying to put out there a billboard or something, it's like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. That's a good
yeah,
way to
no,
get yeeted from a chat, and it's
it
also a
can
good
be.
and it's also a good way to get a target on your back and have an example made
Oh
out of
yeah,
you,
no, no, no.
like I
But
did with the art expo.
oh yeah, I know, right? But yeah, no, like I said, just if you have something that you want to showcase, just by all means, just follow the links below, especially on the Twitter side, or the Twitcher side of things on the Twitch. It does have a link to go to the Discord. You can go there. You could harass and harangue, try to get some jobs from there. By all means, to a degree, it is kind of a free speech kind of thing. It's limited. It's limited to what we can do within the Discord parameters. But if somebody says no, you just move on. It's simple as that. But I mean, I'm curious. I'm
I'm
curious.
sorry. I'm kind of gun shy. I'm gun shy with just hiring random artists
Oh yeah,
anymore
no, I get it. I get it. But
because
I want to see what they're I want to see what they're capable of first. I'm not just going to, just walk right into the bar and just kind of pick up that first date and take them up to into the high quarters to have my time with them because might end up with something shitty at the end of it.
yeah,
So
you might end up with a hot picture of syphilis
yep,
like I
yep.
did.
So so I am very cautious. So I have one artist that is pretty much wanting to work with me. I'm like, okay, but you haven't shown me what you're able to do yet. I have another one that could be doing exactly the same thing. So yeah, if you're interested, there are links out there already that you guys can go to just hit me up. I'm not hard to find. Not hard to fucking
I'll
find.
I'll put it like this. I know plenty of artists already. The artist that did my model, his name is Monkey Evans. He's kind of a femboy. But yeah, it is what it is. He does great work.
Yeah.
Another one I know that does VTuber stuff is Way TV.
Yep.
And originally I was gonna have her do mine, but the robot armor aesthetics scared her away.
It happens.
So, yeah, yeah, she doesn't like to do the robot armor aesthetics. But eventually, I did find someone to do it. This model cost me about $850. That's the making the model and rigging it and all that good stuff. So does that. And also, we know plenty of other artists too, like Samaj. For
Uh-huh.
me, Maverick Vortex and a couple other ones. And I got a whole host of fucking AI artists Pippa, fucking Pippa.
Yep.
Um, you know, whenever the whole new world cover became very popular, I put a note out there whenever I was making the AI covers hard and
Mhm.
heavy. Yeah, I need artwork because I can make the AI scene, but I'm shit at making artwork. So it's
No, I
like
get it. I get it.
so it's
Yeah.
like if you want to make artwork for some of the covers, I'll put that out there. You can tag me up, and then Pippa saw the video and it's like, you heard him, chat. Shit him on your art. And
Yeah.
I swear to God, the only thing I got was fucking NSFW shit of Pippa.
I know, congratulations, but that's usually how that works. That's usually how that works. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm easily found. I think most of my shit's on the YouTube side, so you just have to go to whatever that link is to see where you can send your shit email wise to me. There's usually links for everything, and if there isn't, please let me know so I can fix that shit. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm good with soliciting, but yeah, again, I agree with Sparky. Not everybody's like that. So I and again, I want to know the reason of why
Be
most people.
mindful.
I know, but I also want to know the reason why you think I would be a good VTuber, or you're a VTuber. Explain. I need more explanation outside of it than
All right, all right, all right.
it's trending
I can
and it's
explain. No,
got
I
money.
can explain this. I can explain this. I can explain this. So,
Okay.
okay, one,
Uh-huh.
I like VTubers.
I know.
I like the VTuber culture and stuff like that.
I get
I
that.
fiddle around with it and I look at it.
Uh-huh.
But two, you also know for a fact I am not a VTuber.
I know.
Okay, I like the model. So what going to let me go is like doing the Adonis Paul thing. It's
Uh-huh.
like having a animated model as your avatar just to do your shows.
Yeah.
Um, it's the same thing that Antoine's doing right now.
No, I get it.
For
I get it.
Christ on a Cracker, Antoine is like the farthest thing from a VTuber.
Oh fuck yeah, I know.
He does not understand one fucking thing about it except for it's popular and people like it and
No,
there's
I
some
get that.
magic being done to make the model move with stuff like that.
the
I made
the
him
evil magic of a camera.
yeah. I
Yes.
made him a VTuber model based off of his avatar.
Yes.
And it's not the first time I've done something like that for him. It's like
Mm.
a long time ago, whenever he had his model, he wanted a PNG model, but he didn't know he wanted to have different expressions like what Varian and a couple other
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
Like this
I
was
get it. Yeah.
2017 and
Yeah.
2018, so
Yeah.
you know. and he didn't know how to do it. So I went through and I made about 20 different panels with
Hmm.
different mouth movements,
Hmm.
expressions, and stuff like that. And I made it real simple. When all thing you had to do was just click and drag the image over, and it all matched up. He just had to put what he wanted in one spot,
You mean like
and
the
for
button
what
collection I gave him that had exactly the same kind of
yeah,
formatting? All you had to do was get a stupid machine
and
and boom.
for whatever reason, every panel was off. It wasn't centered. He couldn't get it centered up. There were
Oh
different
God.
formats, different resolutions, and it changed every time. He just didn't know how to do it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I made this as simple as possible. Anyways, I did that for him a long time ago, but he came up
Oh
to me
God.
because he liked the Mr. Medicare
Yeah,
avatar.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Can you do this? Yeah, sure. You know anything about VTubing? No, but I think it looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And I like that. I do like that. It's like using animes and just using the
yeah.
random models. You've done that before,
I have. I have.
and
I've done
and
that on occasion.
my my pitch to you
Yes.
would be not become a VTuber because you
Yeah.
would be canceled from VTuber culture.
I
So
know, right?
you would be canceled by all the other VTubers if you tried to actually be a VTuber. But my pitch to you is,
Uh,
well, that's actually one pitch, causing chaos and
I mean, I
uh,
don't mind
within
causing
a
chaos. I love
fire.
chaos.
Yeah, you love chaos.
I
So I
love
mean,
chaos.
that's one pitch of having a VTuber model. But my other
Mm.
pitch is have get one of your models,
Yep.
your actual avatars you use. You
Yeah, I have
could
lots of them.
either yeah, the most notable one I know is the the skull.
Ah,
It's
yes.
two different versions of the skull. You got your game show host one with
Yep.
the funky looking skull with the blue eyes,
Yep.
and then you have the other one with like the Canadian,
The one with the
yeah,
with the
the
almost
maple
like a
leaf,
birthmark. Yeah.
the maple
Do
leaf one.
do you realize where I borrowed that idea from? The little birthmark on the forehead. Can you figure it out?
Uh, Harry Potter.
No, a Russian president at one time had a birthmark on his head.
Oh, cool.
Do you, you don't know which I bet you don't know which one. He was like he actually
Gorbachev.
predates Putin. Yes. Yes.
I know my history.
Okay.
I also know Chernobyl caused them a very, very serious aneurysm too.
It did. It did. So there we go. Hello there, buddy boy Joey. How you doing? Gorbachev. Yes.
Yeah, yep,
Yes.
yep.
Yeah,
But
I borrowed that idea because I like the idea and I want to kind of because I like I said, I was getting into kind of changing my avatar a little bit, giving it a game show kind of thing, gave him a mask, kind of like the Gorbachev look, but with a Canadian leaf on his forehead. Hell, I think I have the icon and I'm gonna still use icon just because it pisses off Ben.
I
The
can.
icon that she made for me somewhere in my file folder that I pull up every now and then. But yeah, I have a lot of files
Oh,
of
I know the reason why you say icons, and it's not just to piss everyone off. It's because you role play as a Canadian skeleton going ah, ga, 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 ga.
Actually, no. Funny enough, I was listening to an Indian tech guru, and he was talking about icons, the icon.
Bermuda.
I know, right? No, not Muda, but a different guy. But Muda's an asshole that I barely listen to if I can help it. The only time
Yep.
I might listen to him in passing if he says something. The funny thing is Qzar, the Romanian that I listen that I follow, he sometimes trips over Muda and kind of goes through it. The one thing I like about him, he takes Muda in bite size and has commentary over some of his questionable commentary, Muda's questionable commentary, and just kind of says he's got a bad take or he's got a good hot take, and they're usually spot on to me, which is hilarious. So I feel like I'm Romanian. I guess I have no idea.
That's
We
scary.
both really don't like Muda.
That's scary.
I know, right?
Another post on the internet like you. I'm surprised the net hasn't fucking imploded yet.
I don't. Fuck me. I mean, that's one of those things. I wait for that
But
to happen.
yeah.
Chick-
But anyways, the other aspect of this is I would say not do it to become a VTuber, but do it because of the animated model, and
That is basically
have one of your Canadian it's you have so many fucking models. It's
I
really hard
know, I
to
know. See,
pick through.
that's the funny
But
thing is
I would give them all. Actually, the best way to, and this would be a good test.
mhm.
This would be a good test for the artist, and be like, I want an aesthetic like this, but try to mix and match or come up with the best one out of all worlds and just give
Yeah,
them
that's
a varieties,
basically
give them your favorite selections
yeah,
of your models, and go, okay, here's all the different avatars I've used over the years. These are
correct.
my favorite ones. If you can try to incorporate a VTuber model that it attributes to most, some, or all of them,
Yep.
and make it look good, and be a VTuber model, and go from there.
Mhm.
That's what I would do that.
Yeah, no, I kind of like that idea going forward. That's basically my mindset. I'm not doing it because I want to be a VTuber. VTubing is the farthest thing I want to deal with.
Well,
I'm intrigued with the art style. Yes, I'm intrigued with the artists who do this as a living because I don't see many VTube artists and
there's a
what they actually.
lot.
I know there are,
Yeah,
and I
there's no what there's a lot of stuff that goes into. It's
oh
like
I
my model itself has about, I think, 60 different layers on
no, I could imagine because I've seen how they put together VTubers or the VTube model, I should say.
it.
So I'm hep to that area of the game, but the one aspect that I truly don't have like a total grasp on is the artists themselves because they vary in quality.
Yeah, it's really hard to find a really decent VTuber artist
Yes,
that's cheap. That's not just a knockoff.
yeah, and that's
Because
basically
a lot
where.
of them, a lot of them will use like preset assets,
Mhm.
and change up some of the features. Like, for instance,
Yeah,
my model is almost a copy of Marky's model.
uh-huh,
There's some changes to the face, hair, and that's it. And, well, the only thing that's the same is the head of it, but
yeah,
there's some changes to it, and he just has a pre-made template that he made,
mhm,
and goes off of it from there. And usually, a lot of the work and the cost comes into the clothing, the body type, it just stuff like that.
yeah,
And a lot of these other artists will go through and find already made templates from other people,
mhm,
and then basically what they just do is they color swap, or they add stuff of their own, or change some things here and there, and pass it off as their own,
yeah.
which I'm really don't if they're getting the stuff online, and they're not actually, if they're getting it like from a place that just puts it out there as like, hey, if you want to use this, go ahead, and they don't have any licensing, or is like, hey, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah,
I
no, I
really
get it.
don't care.
Mhm.
It's like there's a VTuber artist by name Kevin that does a lot of VTuber asset stuff that like a lot of the Sojo girls and stuff like that uses.
Mhm.
And there's a whole controversy about, oh well, he's just using templates, and he doesn't actually do the work himself. He does templates. Yeah, he's made the templates himself and then adapts them to whatever he works on. He's allowed to fucking do that.
Mhm.
That's what game creators do.
Well, yeah, no, I mean that's logical. That's how that works.
Yeah, that's how
But
you make a profit. It's
yeah,
like I don't.
that's
It's
usually
like
how it
me
works.
working
Yeah.
on tools. Yeah, I don't go out and buy a new set of wrenches every time I work on a new truck. I use the
I
same
know,
set of
right? That
wrenches.
that that's expensive. But no, like I said before, I've got a slew of different avatar styles and ideas. I've made my own through the process of me coming up into this field where I am all over the place. I I like all my body of work, but I'm always intrigued to see who else has a different style, a different vision of the character for the most part. But yeah, no, I'm just a classic individual. I'm a Gen Xer. I just like having things to be somewhat recognizable, easy to a degree, and have a purpose.
Yeah.
There has to
See,
be a purpose.
yeah, see, like with my model is like I picked like the worst fucking model to be able to go and say, hey, I'm gonna do be an actual VTuber because I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because my model is pretty much IP'd already for Mega Man Legends. It's
Mhm.
just it's a Proto Man slash Zero version of Mega Man Volnet for Mega Man Legends.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
I could see
there's
that.
no way. Well, actually, there is a way I could do it. I just too lazy to go through and do it. But I can't go through and play. I can't play a role. I can't play a character. I don't have a backstory. I don't have anything like that. So really, I don't fall into the qualifications of VTuber. It's just
Nah.
I've had the avatar since I started the channel. Since I started everything, I've had pretty much this idea of my avatar, and I've stuck with it ever since. So
Yeah.
whenever the idea of having, because I thought about doing PNG stuff with my avatar,
Yeah.
but I just never got around to making the different gestures, face movements, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
This takes all that work out of it. You just have one model and you manipulate it the way you want. It's
No,
a lot
I
better
guess
in
so,
my
yeah.
book,
Yeah, no,
and
again,
that's the appeal I have to it, and that
yeah.
would be my selling point to you.
Yeah, no, no. That is basically I kind of like I said, you working in my brain set. That's almost like you know me for a bit. Um
It's almost like I've talked to you damn near for
I
the
know, right?
6 years.
Jesus fuck. I mean, yeah, it feels like forever, dude. But yeah, no, and like I said before, it is I always want to hear it from the artist of why. Because again, you can't just it's like pitching. You have to sell me on the idea. And the reason why I said you, sir, not to give me this, because of the factor that you already have one,
Because I know
technically,
you.
and you already know me, and you know how to sell to me. I want to get these other artists to give me a reason to sell me them, because I used to do it for myself in order to get gigs in that, or to get jobs. So you have to learn how to sell yourself. So there is a contingent. It's like fishing. You want me? You gotta work to get me. I'm the big bass on the bottom of that lake. You gotta work for that.
Well, and it's kind of like with me.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to spoil something tonight on here. I'm not gonna post up on Twitter. Well, it is on Twitter for your listening, but it's in video format, and you have to scroll through the video. It's not like the image itself is
Oh yeah,
out there.
correct.
But um, what I have is I've been working on a cover for the last week. Basically, I got it done last weekend, but I've been waiting for artwork this entire time. I finally got it.
Yeah.
And while ago, I made a cover of Girls in Rock and Roll,
Mhm.
and it was a Pippa Pipkins, and it was just a solo and stuff like that. I've had Dragon's Treasure up my ass since I started doing the VTubing, the AI stuff, and he's liked it. And his one thing was, you got to do Kush, you got to do Kush, you got to have Kush AI. You guys, it's like, well, I try to sleaze out of it too. And it's like, well, I did Pippa because I know Pippa's okay with it. I don't know how Kush feels about it. I don't want to step on anyone's toes because that can lead to a rabbit hole of a whole lot of bullshit I don't want to deal with. It's like, oh, well, give me a minute. And comes back to me with a screenshot of him talking to Kush. Hey, I know this person, Sparky's Tech Corner. He's done the AI stuff and he did a cover and showed the Pippa Medica cover. And it's like, is it okay for him to use her voice to do this? Like, oh yeah, that was a cool video. Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'll do Kush. 1 year later, I finally got the voice trained and I've got it done.
Yeah. There you go.
So I took Girls on Rock and Roll and made it into a duet with her and Pippa, and I got the artwork back, and this is what we got.
Uh, Give me a second. I just have to finish up a tweet.
Yeah, it's all good.
I twit it, and I got that. There you go. See?
Now, at first, I really don't do the AI art stuff because I suck at it. I can make a
Mm.
scene, but I can't do AI art to save my life.
It's
I
usually the way
suck
it goes.
as yeah. I really suck as an artist. I really suck more as an AI artist. So take that as you
Yes.
want. But I had the idea. I was able to get Kush prompted up the way I wanted, and I kind of got Pippa sort of prompted up the way I wanted, and then I got the background of what I wanted prompted up. My issue was I couldn't combine the three aspects. I could not
Ah.
do it. I couldn't get it done to make it look right. So I put the call out to people online. He's done. Big Bean. Who was it again? It was
Oh, Gemax is here. Hello,
yeah,
Gemax. How you
yeah.
doing?
It was the Big Bean AI artist on Twitter. He is the one that did this. He's done other cover art for me before in the past. But by far I think this is one of the best ones so far. And
So
I'm
far.
looking to try to make this one of the bigger covers I've done. I don't think it's as spaz a whole new world. Maybe it will, I don't know.
You never know. You just never know.
But
What did you do today, or this time?
When doesn't Sparky do something?
No, what did you do?
Well, he made the Girls of Rock and Roll finally with the two VTubers that we've been
Crush and Pippa.
requested.
Yeah.
And now we have a cover right there that's on the screen for said solo song.
Yeah.
Duet song.
Okay.
Duet song.
Again. So it's what is it? What is it? A one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyways, that's and I'm gonna try and have that pushed out tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna tweak the song a little bit more. I think I can make the harmonizations a little bit better. And then I'm gonna, incorporate everything and with the art and stuff like that. Get tags up, set it up, set out to be baited for a little bit, and probably have it premiere sometime around tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we've
got shit to cover. So
we did something yesterday.
Yeah. Let's hold on to that for a wee bit. But,
okay.
Just for a wee bit. I will.
Damn it, Rogue. Okay, fine.
I will give you that. But yeah, the unfortunate thing is today in gaming we lost a game. Today it's official. It was pulled off the roster. It's never going to be played again. We should be saddened, and we should have the a couple of moments for its passing. That is right. Concord is dead.
You mean the game that the U.S. government and the Canadian government
with the Norwegians, yes.
and the Norwegians invested in, and some of Europe failed.
I know.
25 million U.S. dollars, 10 million Canadian.
Wait, I think that was Dustborn. Sorry, sir. That I believe that was Dustborn.
No, that was the Norwegian. No, actually, the American government invested in this game.
Oh, in this one, in Concord,
and your Canadian government.
Oh, yes. Right, that is right. Yeah, you're right. Because I'm
10 million Canadian dollar dues.
Yes,
and 25 million US dollars.
Well, congratulations, AI Garbage. You got your controller. You could use it for whatever it is, but you can't play the video game. Oh, do you have the physical copy of the game? Because right now on eBay, somebody's trying to sell it off for like $25,000. That fucker is hilarious. That is hilarious.
The fun part about this game is it's going to come back as free to play.
I kind of have a funny feeling it might, but realistically, at the moment,
that's why they had to give everybody a refund.
Yeah, I gotta have a funny feeling. You do not. Oh well, I mean, you should. Yeah, I know you got the controller for the memes. I get it, but no, realistically, yeah. At the end of the day, I wasn't. I honestly don't care about a bad game or a good game leaving the roster. I think it's funny that the woke party had finally made a game that was kind of meant for them, and
with government funds.
It doesn't matter. They finally got a game that was meant for them, and none of them turned out to buy said game. It's almost like they don't have money.
Yeah, here was the fun part. $150 million to make this game.
Yeah, I know. And a studio that really doesn't have a good roster. for anything.
No. From what I understand, even if you did play this game, it was crap.
Well, I mean the what is it? The beta test that was free. Yeah, no one liked it except for like a very small handful, and that was the developers.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, it was developer. Well, it was developer and their friends.
Yeah,
And
that's all. Yeah, everybody else that actually played this game, it was a meh game. It was a meh game. I don't care what anybody says that oh yeah, this game had a certain amount of likes and dislikes, blah blah blah. No, it was a meh game at the end of the day. Just like Dustborn is a meh game.
what was it? They tried to say 25,000 people bought this on PlayStation and Steam together.
Okay,
25,000. They tried to say that. Guess how many per person got the first kill achievement? How many people got the
two,
first kill
I think it was.
No, like 200. That was
Okay,
it. Nobody
and that
got
probably
past...
the devs and their friends.
Exactly. So basically, where did they get the number 2,500 from?
I can always look in the wiki and all that kind of shit to see
And then
for sure.
But then I was also trying to say, but this game had 600 people at a time
Yeah,
playing it.
I know.
That's amazing. 600 people at a time were playing this, but only 200 people got the first kill. 200? Maybe it was 2,000. I don't know. But it was
Honestly,
still...
it doesn't really matter at this stage of the game because let's be real. Here is the overall peaking of the game. It started at what, give or take 145 people that actually played it. By the time it got its release, and I think it was around here, it really didn't have that many people playing. Yeah, because look at this. There's not a lot of people playing this fucker.
No.
Like it or not, it's like 50, maybe 100 people. If you're lucky, maybe 250. What is if
This
you're
is just
lucky?
on. This is just on Steam though.
This again, that's on Steam, and like I said, I'm being giving them the opportunity. I'm saying 250 collectively, and their peak at this time frame is 660, and I'm trying to find that 660 for that peak, and I haven't really come across it yet. So, starting to question here. And that's within 7 days. Maybe I'll go into the year. See if 6 months? No, a month?
Yeah, it was only out for 7 days.
7 days. That's all I can give you. So this is it.
Came out August 30th. It came out August 30th, and I'm trying to find that peak. I tried to do this too.
I'm trying to find the peak as well, and I don't see this peak of 660. So 11 people were playing this. Now, under some ideas that would exist, this game would still kind of be kicking around for someone to play it offline. It's a shit game. Like it or not, these live service games have a shelf life. They need to die.
Oh, yeah.
Because there will be other, versions of it, and you can continue going down the road, that kind of thing. But
here's the thing I want to know is, how did this game get $25 million from my government? 10 from yours?
BlackRock
be the shit. No, yeah, but no, I'm still trying to. Who approved this? Someone in our Senate had to put that on a bill.
Not necessarily.
And the president had well, not necessarily, but who? Like, someone had to approve this.
Democrat, obviously. Democrats. Look, anybody who's in bed with BlackRock and Vanguard.
So
Republican, Democrats.
But hang on a minute. So, time out.
Yeah.
Since you brought that question up, Jim Max, let me ask you a question. Okay. Knowing that the government funded this game, knowing that the government funded this game, would you then go to government and ask them for help for rules and regulations to preserve video games?
No, on anything. Our government, Sparky, wants to take away our A2 rights right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, would you go to the European government?
I'm apparently wanted by the European government.
Congratulations!
It's just a question. It's just a question. Would you go to the European government to help preserve games?
No.
Why?
Here's the thing: class action lawsuits exist. I watched your whole thing. You know what? I don't like online games for the most part. I do like some. Don't get me wrong. I've seen what you're talking about. I think I like most of my games to play by myself or with friends, maybe co-op.
Yeah.
At most. And those
And-
co-op games don't require other servers.
Unless you're playing Minecraft with pen and there's dynamite.
Yeah, the co-op games, essentially co-op.
Yes.
You can do that on your own computer. I like games like that. That's fun. I'm fine with those. I don't like playing with a whole bunch of different people unless it's
Yeah,
a
the social
really good game.
games. Yeah.
Unless it's a really good social game. Like WoW was, when WoW was good, I used to play that. WoW's not good anymore.
Yeah,
I
I'll
used
be
to
happy when that
play-
thing dies.
I mean, heck, you know the great thing about like Star Wars: The Old Republic? That was a good game.
It was.
And it is still how that game is actually designed so you can play it by yourself.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Then you have games like Final Fantasy 14. I like to play that with friends every once in a while. Not anymore. It became a bad game.
Yeah, I know. Over time, it does.
Well, try to convince Pen and Dragon of that.
Oh no, Penn did the same thing with WoW when it got bad. It's still good. It's still good. And one day she went, "Oh, this sucks." And I was like, "You're there, huh?" It's like, "Yeah." She does this. She'll get there. She'll get there. Eventually.
Dragon
He just needs
is gonna
nudge.
be a hard sell because he just likes doing min-maxing all of his characters,
Yeah, Dragon.
and he walks away.
Yeah, yeah. That's
My
how I
job here
usually
is
am
done.
too. But like my like I said, I got tired of the game. The last story before this last one that came out, great. It was a great story. The problem is they did this last game. Yoshi P apparently didn't do much except world design, but nothing to do with the storyline at all. So
yeah, but no,
that's about it.
Coming back around to Concord, honestly, I don't know the game that much. I didn't really care. I was gonna play regardless, and I just find it fucking hilarious that the game failed. And
Yeah.
It failed in such a spectacular method. No, it failed in such a spectacular method that one, no campaign had to be launched against it.
No, nothing. Well, the thing is,
nobody wanted to play it.
It had a quiet release.
Yes.
They knew it was so shit. They just released it. They didn't try to hype it up. There was no. This is 150 million AAA game essentially budget. They didn't try to rev it up with anything except a few posts on Twitter, and that was it. No commercials, no nothing, no ads. Fucking
bitch
nothing.
talking shit. Jesus Christ. Hey, Dragon, how you doing?
Yeah,
Dragon.
Final Fantasy 14 sucks. What do you gotta do about it?
I don't know. What will Dragon do about it?
Well, he might tell me once he gets his microphone walking.
Or
Let's see what
yeah,
happens.
the microphone out of his ass. Yeah, definitely.
See, I
left
knew you wasn't gonna
before-
do anything about it. The truth hurts. I'm sorry.
I know, right? No, I finally heard a blink because I didn't hear the blink the last time.
Yeah, I sat here for a minute, heard y'all talking mad shit.
Yeah, no, like I said, I did not hear your blink. That's the weird thing. So I knew there was a problem when your private chat showed up. I'm going, oh, there's a problem.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You let me in, and all of a sudden, I had to refresh the page.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's spotty sometimes. It's a random thing. Like
It's a woman. It's that time of the month. It's just
yeah,
place.
it's one of those things.
What
It's
else
one
is
of those
new?
things, I know, right? Like every now and then it might fuck around with my audio. It's just it is what it is. It is what it is. So I just call it a day. It's like whatever. It does its thing. At least it works. At least it works. Okay.
Or at least supposedly it's supposed to.
Hey, it does what it needs to do, and I'm happy with that. But yeah, we're actually kind of covering a bit of the Concord loss. The gaming has lost a game, a really good game that only lasted maybe 10 days. And unfortunately PlayStation had to pull it because by the time it was done, it didn't have enough
Oh,
player
my-
base to keep it
God
alive.
damn it. Mike was muted on the TikToks. God damn it.
How dare you have that?
Well, they heard you guys. They just didn't hear me.
So
because
all of a
I'm
sudden they had a
retarded.
lot of. We stopped talking. There was a lot of dead air.
No, you guys. They heard you. They just didn't hear me.
No, I know, but we
Jam
stopped
Max
talking,
praising
and then
dead
you
air
had a lot of dead air.
spirits.
Yeah, you did a Tonka sock. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm dumber
God
than
damn.
Tunkasaw.
Apparently so.
Yes.
So
I
Dragon,
don't know. Have you tried to
Hmm?
get in the ring with a coked up retard?
well, he does have military background, so it might be a thing.
I
But anyways, Dragon, what are your thoughts on the loss of Concord? Do you remember anything about Concord? Do you even care about Concord?
Concord was a thing?
Yeah, I know it was a game.
Damn.
think that answers it all.
I know. Right?
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, our government spent $25 million on this game. Yours spent $10 million. In the end of the day, we all got screwed. Tax money.
Tax
went to
money.
this
I know.
fucking-
I know.
went to
Is
this
it
game.
any different when the government's involved? It's always us fucked.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
no, it's pretty true. It's pretty true. But our federal government, a couple states also pitched in. California pitched in some money too. Apparently, I don't know how much that was, but like I said, there was a lot of
It's
money thrown into
California.
this game. There was a shit ton of money. Basically, this game was basically government funded. So it made
Again,
its
this
money
is
no matter what,
this is
but-
another game that has government money with BlackRock and Vanguard attached to it in some way.
I'm
This
sure,
was supposed
yeah.
to push out the message, and it died. No one
Hey,
played the fucking game.
no. Time out. It was really successful in pushing out the message, and that
Yeah,
message
yeah, right.
is all DEI based oriented games suck and will always fail.
Actually, funny enough, I would agree to you in parts because some TEI products are successful.
Every so often they have it. They do
Time
have a
out.
golden child.
The only way DEI products are successful is when they are infiltrating games that would not have it to begin with, and it's hid in. That is the only time that those are successful. When it's based only on DEI bullshit like that was, they always fail.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. But this game would have failed because it had government funds attached to it to begin with.
That right there, yes.
The government will throw tons of money at something and still watch it burn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this is a part of a new. This is part of the new initiative.
Or they just leave billions around for the enemy to pick up.
They want to make. Here's the thing. This passed during Joe Biden's time is what I have a feeling. The art initiative, and they extended it out to games because games are considered arts because of the graphics at this point. This was also the same project they used back in the day to fight communism. That the FBI, the CIA, and all the other national agencies used to fight communism back in the 60s. Like you remember what was it? The arts. What was the art style? Modern art. I think it was
Modern
called.
art.
This was basically the same thing. This is to fight racism and bigotry. Instead, it actually, funny enough, increases it because everybody hates this shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Everybody hates this shit. I mean, they actually had plans for a character in a basically diabetes obese black woman
Hmm.
in a wheelchair update
Yeah, they did.
that was coming down the road. So I wish you fucking luck. This game, yeah, I there was a senator's name on this somehow that this got through a senator. I hope they fucking gets released and they get burned for it. I hope they fucking lose their
It's not gonna
not
be.
going to happen, but oh god, I still fucking hope so.
You can dream.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Concord had government money involved. Mostly funded by America.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that there were other countries that invested in this game as well. I haven't found anybody else yet, but this game was basically a government psyop.
Yeah. Well. No, but you do have some slightly successful DEI based games that, like it or not, have made some pretty good bank, and they're not very upfront about it to some degree, because you can look at something like Overwatch. That is a DEI initiative,
Oh yeah.
and that was a very successful game until they got to Overwatch 2.
Well, here was the thing. It was DEI, and it was, but they realized, hey, if we give these characters giant, but donks and tutis, people might want to play this game.
Not necessarily, because
But,
keep in
yeah.
mind it was a game of its time. They were trying, again. Every member of that character roster was either going to be trans, lesbian, or gay,
Oh yeah, no one cared about the lesbians.
and not all
Everybody
of
was
them are
okay
going to be
with it.
not all of them are going to be the pretty
Oh
ones.
my
Sorry,
God.
so that's usually
I don't know why. I hate my brain sometimes. I got a joke for you, Rig.
okay.
What do you call a female microphone port on computer?
That feels like there's something Dragon should know. Dragon.
I'm not touching this subject.
What do you call it, Sparky?
Functional. What do you
Yep.
call a trans microphone port on computer?
Go for it.
Dead
What?
silence.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
See, there we go. You
But-
get one if you get one.
It just popped in my head.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know why. It just popped in there. I was like,
Yeah.
what
Sure
the
it did,
fuck?
Sparky.
Yes.
But like I said, these aren't the only games.
No, we also have Fortnite, which also kind of
Yeah.
brushes against the DEI, because that's how Epic makes their money. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, there are some very successful live service DEI based games or DEI games like Gone Home. That's a DEI quota that made, or what's that other one with the lesbian girls? Something strange, whatever it is.
I know what you're talking. The
Strange
Just
life.
no, Stranger Thing. Yeah, Strange Life. Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. Thank you. Yeah, you were on the right track. there, Dragon. Life is
Also,
Strange, yeah.
what was the one that what was it? They just made a TV series out of that one. It was
Well, you also
okay.
have I know what you're talking about.
Joel and
Joel
what's her
and
name?
yeah, you got that.
I
Life
have
is
a-
Strange. Yes.
I have an awesome idea for a DEI game that they need to make, and it will make billions of dollars.
Okay.
Okay.
The Last
The
of Us, by
Jew-
the way.
Last
No.
of Us. Yes, yes.
A Jew survival game from annihilation from attrition.
It's called Minecraft.
Yeah.
I mean, The Last of Us 2 was actually no. The Last of Us 2 actually had government funding in it too.
Are you?
Uh,
Are you?
You lose. You lose when you get pushed into brick showers.
That's why it's called Minecraft. You know.
My Kampf?
Nine.
I thought it was
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yes.
No, the game Minecraft.
Similar
know,
to
that
Minecraft.
Mein Kampf was a great game.
I know,
No.
right? Oh Jesus
Oh
Christ.
shit! I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. Ah.
Anyways, so let's roll over for a little bit. Here's something that a PlayStation head has decided to put out there. The leadership has stated, and this is the CFO, Hiroki Tokoki, whatever, HT. He kind of came out to the Financial Times and said that Sony doesn't have enough IPs to keep them afloat. They don't have original IPs that they can fall back onto to make them money. Ergo, they need to make more new IPs going forward.
That's because they burned all their old IPs.
Did they though, Dragon? When was the last time you saw another Dragoon-based game?
It's been a good fucking minute.
That's right. There's a fucking list of games that they can fall back to, and not one of them seems to be in the forefront of this motherfucker's, brain.
Like I said, they burned IPs.
Ugh. Sony has-
They know they own the movie studio, right? Who? Sony? They barely remember what they have.
They know they got
So,
something.
they have music. Well, they used to have music.
No,
on
they
TV.
still have music. They
Oh, they
still
do?
have movies. They still have games.
Mhm.
They have a shit ton of IPs on their roster, but none of them that they can see being successful.
Well, what was it? Legend of Dragoon, one of the most successful games that we were promised a sequel from PlayStation 2, I think, or 1.
Yeah, we were promised a sequel from PlayStation, period.
Oh,
Yeah.
for that game, and then nothing. The
Yes.
studio went out of business, even though it fucking sold like fucking gangbusters.
Well, they
It
killed that
sold-
studio. They stripped mined that fucker.
Well, here was the funny. It was like it made more than Final Fantasy VII, and that was like, holy shit. That was like Final Fantasy VII, and I'm talking like 1990s, early 2000s, best fucking game ever. And they didn't follow up on it.
Yeah,
Because the studio, everybody who was all the programmers, everything was gone. I know that much.
Well, what
Because
about
I
Wild
still
Arm?
have that game upstairs.
Yeah, I know. They also have Wild Arm. They have Ape Escape. They've got Jack and Dax. They've got Gravity Rush, Dark Cloud. They've got a shit ton of IPs that they could fall. And those are the older ones.
Oh yeah.
And not one just comes to the forefront. Like, yeah, we have no IPs. We need to make more.
They have games that they've been sitting on. Legacy of Kain.
Yeah,
Legacy of Kain.
people
Then
have
you
been
have
waiting
Dark
for a
Souls
Legacy
series.
Kane.
I mean, Dark Souls essentially. Everybody's been waiting for the finish of that Dark Souls game. We have, and we never got it.
What was it?
Games that were so awesome and great, people loved to death, and they're gone.
Yeah, no, Dragon, you were going to say something?
There's a ton of games that were on PlayStation exclusive that fucking could still rank them some cash.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But
mean,
they
but
refused to go up on them.
I know, which is kind of weird in itself. You would think that these motherfuckers, especially the CFO, who's a Japanese, whose headquarters is in fucking Japan, would kind of go to one of the fucking underlings and kind of go, hey, do we have any IPs that we can actually use to exploit? Yeah, sir, here's 1,000. Pick one. Sony had banger after banger after banger during the PlayStation 2 time. Banger after banger after banger for the PlayStation 3 time. Pick one.
I mean, you had Ratchet and Clank, fucking.
Oh, they tried. They tried to bring back a Ratchet and Clank. They brought in a DEI version of it.
Yeah, it didn't work out too well, did it?
No. Fuck. And all they're worried about is trying to make a cinematic game going forward. That's all they're doing. So it's mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. But okay. Quick question before we go into the meat of the matter soon. Out of all the IP that Sony has, what's the first one that comes to mind that you like to have them bring back?
All of us Return to Dragon here.
Everybody.
What?
Now, are you talking about
All
Sony itself, or like companies that will like put something out like, on
again.
PlayStation?
Sony has collection of IPs, whether it be third party, first party, whatever, movie. They have a collection of IPs. What is an IP that you would like to have brought back from the Sony collection?
I'd like to see Legend of the Gaia come back.
See, there we go. There you go. I like that idea. I personally would like to have that back too. But realistically, at the end of the day, we have a list of inactive IPs that are kicking around.
No, they just brought back a new Mana game.
Well, yeah. But again, it's like you have to pick one. So we've got that one. So what about Sparky or Gem Max?
Oh God, there's so many.
I know,
There's
but you
so
have to pick
fucking
one.
many. If I could have one and pick back, it would be Legend of Dragon.
Okay. Yeah,
I was gonna
I
say
agree
that
with
one.
that too.
That is my all-time fucking.
I was gonna
favorite
say,
game.
I was
I'm gonna have
looking
to
to
catch you
see.
guys later.
Okay, we'll talk
All
to
right,
you later. Thank you.
I was
for
looking
coming,
to
Dragon.
see. Yeah, I was looking to see what IPs that they owned and like what games I knew of and stuff like that.
Look, you're a native. Out of all the native related games, you can't remember Infamous.
I don't play native related games. Are you fucking profiling me?
Yes, I am. I get profiled enough, fucker. I'm gonna
Fuck you.
profile you.
Fuck you.
But how good was Legacy of Kain? That was a fucking
you
good
maple
game.
licking tree humping fucking Canadian.
Thank you.
I
I approve.
the Legacy of Kain series. That was a fucking awesome game too. Or
Okay,
Defiance. I mean, it's what
all
it's
right.
called. The Legacy of Kain. Defiance,
Mm.
yeah.
So
What do you got,
since
Sparky?
Jim Max, said Legends of Dragon, I'll go on the limb. I'm pretty sure Sony. It's Capcom, but Capcom does a lot of stuff through Sony and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I'll put Mega Legends.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Technically, it's owned by Capcom, but they primarily put stuff out on Sony.
I
Yeah,
think
but
Capcom's
again-
pretty much owned by Sony at this point, aren't they?
Yeah, let's put it that way. I agree with you. But no, I mean, we already had the God of War series that came back, and it's a terrible franchise now.
I don't know.
The major one I would like to see be brought back. Let's see here. See this because there's so many, and I've got to be kind of particular. What what was that? Shining Force, the Shining Force saga. I would like Shining Force back. That would be a killer RTS game. That would be a killer RTS, Shining Force.
Yeah.
That would, I mean, update it, give it enhanced graphics, keep the story going. That would be a killer RTS. Give it an XCOM kind of feel. That fucker would blow everybody's mind.
I mean, here's the thing: Sony doesn't have to make new games. They could go through their catalog, bring back one of the fucking greatest games that they just all of a sudden dropped for no fucking reason other than you know what, this game's too popular.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason I can think. Is like, this game was too popular.
I know.
Let's
They
get
have,
a
like-
record of it.
No, I got it.
Okay, what do you
I
got?
got it. The most legendary game of all time.
Knack?
Man.
Okay.
What? Say that again. What was that game?
Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man.
Hell, you might as well bring back the Noid.
I know, right? Actually, you could have like the mascot battle, just like you would for what they did with Pokemon, and the crossover they had with all of these Nintendo characters.
Ooh, there you
Smash
go.
Brother
Yeah.
games. Instead of have it with all the old mascots from yore.
Had not Ronald McDonald and Grimace go at it.
Yeah, yeah. See that'd be hilarious. Bring back all those mascots.
Wendy's, put Wendy's in there.
Yeah, shit.
Save
Yeah.
Thomas as well.
Jared's the subway guy.
Raise him from the dead and have him fight. I met that. Oh god damn it! I met that guy once. He's a great
It's a
person,
weird
but-
thing. People would kind of purchase it just for the larks.
Yep.
Jesus Christ! But honestly, like I said, Sony has a lot of IPs, way too many, and they're not using any of them. And they're saying that we have none. What the fuck? I mean, seriously, guys. I mean,
I was gonna say Legends of Dragoon. What Jim brought up is a really good game. It was fleshed out, had a lot of lore, had a lot of storytelling. It had a lot of hiccups within it.
yeah.
And what they were trying to do for gameplay at the time, they were real limited. I mean,
Yeah.
they had a lot. I mean, if they had actual professional voice actors,
Mhm.
and if the PlayStation hardware had a lot more horsepower to run the graphics,
Yes.
they could have done a lot of really good storytelling aspects with that game.
Here's
Yeah.
the problem with that. They're gonna fuck it up today. I don't want them
True.
to touch it with a fucking 10. I don't want them to touch any of those games with a 10-foot pole until they fucking get their head out of their ass.
Oh, I don't think they'll ever be able to get their head out of their ass.
That's the problem. So
Yeah.
I really
Because I know they've got the Legend of Dragoon on the PlayStation 5, but it's like that side scroller kind of like the classic Final Fantasy kind of approach, but it's
Yeah.
not the same. It is definitely not the same.
no, it's not anymore. So
The epic role playing game that you had that that was what everybody wanted. They ended up getting some stupid side scroller thing.
So Jim Max, what power move did you have Dot use?
You know what? I don't even. It's been so long since I fucking played that game. I don't even remember.
I remember what power move I always had him use. It was Volcano.
What? Oh yeah, okay. I do remember that move. That was the best fucking move. He could have. Okay, I remember that game. He Dart had was the Red Dragon. He had Volcano. He also had something else. Didn't he have Meteor or something? Or Meteor Strike or something. It was something that was pretty badass.
It was Meteor. It was just called Meteor.
It was just called Meteor. Yeah. But like I said,
yeah, Avalanche, Volcano, Meteor, Fisher Slice, Double Strike. He had several other ones.
I
mean, you have Flame Shot, Explosion, Fire Burst,
Explosion.
Yeah, that was Dart.
Like I said, I've played the hell out of so many games from back in that day.
Yeah.
It's
you want to know what the sad thing is about that game? Most people who play through it and actually play to the end, they never got Kongol's the giant. They never got his Dragon Spirit.
Oh yeah, the Golden Dragon.
Yeah.
Well,
that's because the game had a glitch.
It was hidden. But it wasn't a glitch. Get it.
No, sometimes if you got it for certain games, like first run games, it would glitch. The game would stop working.
I don't know about the glitch. I never had that issue, but it's the fact is you get his Dragon Spirit through a side quest.
You probably got a second run game then.
Then I probably got a second one.
It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
But it was a side quest. Yes. It was a side quest item that was not necessary, and it was gone in by.
Here's the thing. I know what you're I know what you're talking about. Here's the thing. I had the guide how to get that, and every time I would do that, the game would stop working.
That's for you. I mean,
I use the guide too.
Let's be real. No, let's be real.
I'm saying there were like 2 or 3 runs of that game.
No, I get that, but Gemax, let's be real. Anytime that you play a video game and you're on a cakewalk mission, somehow it fucks up for you.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that is true. But the first run games, and I bought that game when it first came out.
Yeah,
this game looks awesome because they were advertising the shit out of it. You saw that game everywhere.
Yeah,
you said this is the Final Fantasy killer, and it would have been. It would have been a Final Fantasy killer. But they never made a sequel.
Yeah.
You got to the end and they were like, we'll continue fighting. And we were supposed to have, the story was basically supposed to be Dart and them are all still fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going on. And that's why I think they had, you can save for the next game with your characters and you start from there.
Yeah.
And it just never happened.
Yeah. I did like the lore with the Dragon Wars and the Verge, all the different communities. The Verge was like the 108th species born from the Tree of Life, and it was the species that would end all life on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a race to try to stop it all, and then you're presented with the lore and the story of the game of the Black Monster. And the way the game presents it is like the Black Monster's been famed throughout the whole time, but it's not.
That's usually what I call my penis.
I also like the infinite. I don't remember if it was gold or whatever, but the infinite gold glitch that they had in the first run.
Yeah,
that one. I was like, oh yeah, here, buy this for 0, sell it for 100. Buy this for 0, sell it for 100.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can keep on buying this item and selling it for one fucking item that they. Like the buy price was 0, the sell price was 100. I'm like, that fucking, I loved it.
Oh yeah,
buy the shit out of that item. 99 and sell the 99.
Yep.
It wasn't the first game to do that, but my god, that was. I don't know if they got rid of that in the second run, but
no, it was still available. You
that was the one. No one must have been talking about that.
Yeah.
That glitch was awesome.
Yeah, it could still be done.
I think the last time I played the game, I was on a quest trying to find all of the Stardust.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to pull that out one of these days and play it again, but I don't know. Every time I play it, I just get so pissed off that they never made a sequel, and
No,
I have
I
to stop
get it.
playing.
It's just,
Because
but
it's just-
again, all I can say is, but when it comes down to games like that, it's best to have the actual physical copy
Here's
going
the
forward.
thing: you don't even actually have to say anything because you had two. I think you had two female characters and
You
two
did,
male
yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
That was it, and it was perfectly balanced. It was
Yeah.
a perfectly
It
balanced.
was
game.
it was a 7-person team, and at the end of the day,
It was the
You
Power
could-
Rangers on crack.
yeah,
Oh yeah, it was not
yeah,
true.
yeah, pretty much. You had Dart, Dart, Cheyenne, and then you met Leverets. After you met Leverets, you met
You had red dragon, blue dragon, black
yeah,
dragon,
hang on.
white.
Dart, Cheyenne, Leverets, Hodges, Homers. I can't pronounce his name, but he's the black martial arts master trained Dart.
Yeah.
I usually call him Homers. After you meet him, oh yeah, Rose. You get Rose. After Rose, you kill off Levitz. Then you get Keen Albert in his place. You meet Maru. You get Congo, and that's your 7-person team.
Yeah.
And then halfway during the deal, you run a mission. Cheyenne gets knocked out, and then you get the Queen's advisor in one of the towns you go into, which I don't remember her name.
Let's see here. You had
And mind you, I've not picked the game up in like 15 fucking years.
I know. I think it was Dash.
Yeah, there were
It
5
started with A.
characters.
It started with an A, I believe.
What was it? A?
Maru, Cheyenne, who then became Murata,
Murata.
Levitz, Rose, and Hatchel. Yeah.
Hatchel, yeah.
Antagonists were the Emperor of Malibu, and Lloyd and Ziegel. Other characters: Alberts, Colgan, Murata, and Daz.
Yeah.
Diaz.
Diaz.
Diaz, whatever.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I was like, yeah, I knew there were only 4 or 5 characters.
No, there was a
Technically,
list.
there were
you,
six.
you had
You had
Albert, who was there. You had Congo.
Yeah.
Maru.
Those
For
were all
playing
side
through, yeah,
characters.
playing
but
playing through the game, you had to
No, but they were considered main characters throughout the
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
well,
usable.
Yeah.
playing through the game. You have to be mindful. On the second go around, the first go around, you never really knew, and
Yeah.
it really fuck over your cast if you didn't know.
Correct.
But the ones you don't want to really put any time or stature in was Levitz. Levitz and Cheyenne. Those are the 2 characters you didn't want to put in because they get removed and then new characters put in. I think whenever the new characters put in, they get put in close to the level of where you're supposed to be at, but not what. So if you end up like just trying to tank one of those 2 characters, and then you go through that the part of the game where they get removed, you've done all that work for nothing.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was the one thing that really kind of pissed me off during that.
No, but that actually kind of forced you to try to build all the characters because that's where the importance was to get the entire cast. I know most people were it's the same thing when it comes down to like the Power Rangers. Everybody's focused and devoted to one particular archetype, one particular character. Like for the originals, everybody loved Tommy, the Green Ranger, but all the others had certain interesting
and they
stories
did
and skills.
Yeah, well, and they did. I really think they did really clever gameplay in this because usually that's what people would do. Because you have access, you had 7 people, 8 people revolving around in your team when you finally got your full roster, and then afterwards, you can only have 3 people on the playing field. And then whenever somebody gets, and one of the things I didn't like is like even if somebody got knocked out. Nobody from your team could come in and replace them, which I understand they did it for game balance and dynamic because it was a singleton playing game. It just didn't make no sense to me because, okay, you're going around in a group of people, it's like 7 or 8 people, and if these 3 people get knocked out, game over. It's like, how does that make sense? That's one thing I didn't really like about it. But the end of the game, they force all the characters through different paths.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And each character has to face a challenge when they get, I believe, in the Tree of Life.
Mhm.
And because each character has their own conviction and has their own demons to have to work through, all of them. And then you are faced with those demons with those characters. And what ends up happening is people just focus on tanking 3 characters. So
Yep.
whenever you get into the part of the game where now you have to play as these other characters, oh, well, it's a level 10 or 20 character trying to face off against a level 60, 70 fucking baddie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, no, that's the beautiful thing. And like I said, again, games were pristine back then, and a lot of them were single player, and you just got the game as is. Now you got the day one patches. Everything is licensed to you, which is insane. And you really don't own the games. And this is where we're going to get into the meat of the matter. Unfortunately, stop killing games, which is an interesting hashtag, as we mentioned before, with the show with myself and Sparky, that Sparky pushed out there, and we kind of went over a few different things, and realistically, we're going to kind of try to wrap this bad boy up in a nice little tight little bow. Call it a night. Put this motherfucker to sleep, and troll everybody else after it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But Gem Max, since you haven't really gotten a chance to actually say your piece or whatever, what's your thought process when you hear "Stop Killing Games"? The hashtag.
No, here's the thing. I want to stop making digital games. Make hard copy games. That's the tagline I want. That's what I think. If you want a game to last forever, get it on fucking hard disk on a console or a computer you can play, and maybe update. Or that's fine. That's how you do it. Games die because people stop playing them, not because companies stop making them or stop making them playable. People stop playing them. When you have 100 people playing a game a day, even or 10, I mean, whatever. If you have under 100 people playing a game a day, it's already dead. It's already killed itself.
Mm-hmm.
You just have people who don't want to buy the new one because they're too fucking lazy or cheap, and I can understand that to a point. But at some point, a game does die. I mean, who remembers the game fucking first Nintendo game to ever come out, Mario Brothers?
I remember Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers. The PAL.
That was
game.
the power in the middle. Somewhat, you had to go underneath the actual plank thing and hit it underneath to knock the turtle over on his back, or to kill the crab or whatever. I remember that fucker. That was a beautiful.
Nobody.
Game.
I mean, that. Yeah, how many people play that game today? Right?
Right now, virtually no one. But back in the day, it was popular arcade. It was one of the popular arcades. When it came over to console, it was kind of popular, but again, it wasn't as popular as it was in the arcade.
There is a 20-year-old game that is still playable on Steam that anybody can play, download, buy, and play. Guarantee it. If they get to work on their computer. Now, if you're talking about online games that require online only, that require servers.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. That game's going to be dead in 10 to 15 years no matter what, simply because of the fact it's too expensive to upkeep the servers. If you buy an only online game, even back in the day, like there were tons of them back in the day, in the early 2000s before the second bust of the .com, that disappeared. Went away because, well, the places went out of business, or it was too expensive to keep the servers going.
Mafia.
Final Fantasy 11 is the greatest. There's one server dedicated to Final Fantasy 11 by Sony still.
Yep,
that's it. That's all you get. One server. It's in the U.S. and that's it. But they have people that are still waiting to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if that server, if it isn't a game that is paid for on a daily or a monthly basis, it's definitely going to die.
Oh yeah, no.
Now,
I mean,
that's and this brings up something that could be done, and we didn't cover this yesterday because there's many things that you can talk about and put forth to
yeah.
to alleviate this. One of them is, and this would be implementation from the game company. So it's like you got to make the game company want to do it.
Well,
What is the best way to get a game company to do it? That is, pay for it.
well,
And
that's monthly payments of $15 or $10 or whatever. Look at Call of Duty.
Oh fuck yeah! The
Call
game that
of
never
Duty.
changes.
The game that never changes. Now, the reason why they don't shut down the servers for a lot, I think there's only, what was it, Call of Duty 2 that was online, had an online only mode, but it could be played from your PlayStation still without being online, or I think it was PlayStation 3. I can't remember, but they had servers. They turned off those servers because they were like, well, give us, and people were like, give us the game stuff so we can start our own servers, because there's still a huge player base in there. They're like, no, because we don't change the game, and you would have the code, the source code, and you could you can cheat with that with all our other games. So no,
Yeah.
So
that's why.
One of the things that you can do, and the game companies can do, is to make a monetary incentive to keep the doors open. And one way that I can think of, and gamers are not gonna like this, especially like fans of a game or stuff like that, they're not gonna like it, and it's not gonna work. But it's a possibility, and that is every month. Once they get past the point, like 10 years down the road or however long down the road, and they decide to shut the servers down, they have an option open for the gamers. And the option is, if you want to keep the servers open online, we got to start charging for the servers.
Okay.
And how the game companies can do it is to look at what it costs to keep the servers open.
With Sparky, we did have that.
Oh, let me finish.
We did have that.
Well,
It's called
okay,
Xbox
continue.
Live.
I know, but anyways, let's Sparky finish, then we can.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about for like PC.
No, that paid for their servers. Xbox Live. The reason Xbox Live existed was not to charge you monthly so you could get online. It was actually to keep their servers running.
I'm not talking about a game.
No, Xbox.
Hold up.
Let me
Sparky
finish.
Let Sparky
Okay,
finish. And then we
I'm
can
talking
figure this
about the actual studio of the game that has the server.
out. Yeah,
I'm talking about that. And,
okay,
and
yeah,
let me
but Sparky.
finish.
Yeah, but hang on. Just give me a second.
Sparky.
No, hang on. Jeff, stop. Give me a second.
I'm gonna yell at you. Just
Hey,
keep
give
on.
me a second. So, the servers that the studios have are generally from the main producers, the publisher. They don't
Okay,
have
well,
servers themselves.
Well, fine. Let me spit this out before you even tear it down. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
Stop.
I'm just letting you know that's usually how that works.
Yeah.
I'm not
Anyways.
trying to tear it down.
Per game studio, you put out for a monetary effort to keep the servers open. So you look at how many people are on the game. What does it cost to run the server? You take what it costs to run that server, divide it up by the amount of players per month, and you charge that amount per player.
Yeah,
If the player base drops down, you recalculate every month, and the price will go up. And if it gets to a point where it's so much that gamers don't want to pay for it, then the game gets changed.
Okay, now I'm going to talk to you. When Xbox Live first came out, I'm not talking about Xbox today, Xbox Live or whatever the fuck it's called today.
actually, that
Back
was
in the day-
Xbox Live. That's
well,
when the original Xbox had that service.
The original Xbox, where you had, in order to go online, you had to pay a monthly service.
Yes.
The way Xbox did it to keep those servers running is that you play. It wasn't so you could just go online and surf the internet. It was literally to keep the servers running for every game, because instead of you're paying instead of you're buying the game and using the online apps, you would actually be also Xbox Live, which was what, like $10 a month? I can't remember.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same. It's the same thing like
Paid
PlayStation
for the
Now.
cost of the servers for every account out there, so they could keep those servers running, so you could play your online games. A lot of people didn't realize this, but that's how they did it back in the day.
Yeah. And people pitched it
because
and didn't like it.
Well, hold up, because the Microsoft ran the servers through them instead of the company having to do the servers themselves that made the game. See, if you had a game on the Xbox and it had online like only type stuff, you ran your servers through Xbox. Xbox didn't charge the game companies; they charged the customer by paying for the servers.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that back in the day, and we rejected it. We didn't like it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with
the reason why
We
I said,
already had this. I already,
No,
you're
no,
right
no.
when you say they would reject it. They
I-
didn't like it.
that's why I said
hang
what I
on.
said.
I like what Sparky's idea is, but there's a lot of flaws in it because
I know.
Yeah, there were,
I
there
know
were
the problem is if we're talking like a basic small server, then you're looking at $3,000 to $1,000 estimately.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to move up because now you have more players, so now you're spending $5,000 more. You have more people coming in, so now you've got to up it to like $20,000 plus. Oh wait,
Well-
now we've got a larger service that's required. So now you're spending $1 million to
Well,
keep
yeah,
that
oh, yeah.
server
Hey,
going.
I put it out as an
No,
idea.
no,
I
but-
know there's logistics that needs to go behind it. I don't know
Again,
what those are.
Sparky. I'm also putting it towards people who are listening.
Here's the thing: the servers from the games from 2010. How much just to run the power bill per month do you think it was?
Again, I'm going to say $500,000.
No, just the power.
I
for
said
one server
$500,000.
back in the one server was $3,000. So you're talking $3,000.
All right.
The thing is, you'd have to get somebody pay $3,000. Today, it's considerably less. The power use is considerably.
No,
lower.
but again,
that's
regardless
just
of the
how-
fact,
you're just-
again,
you're just-
Gemex, regardless of the fact at the end of the day, do you think the player base is going to spend that much money on
no.
a server?
No.
No.
I don't think they would either. I mean, I could build my own server. Here's the thing. What was it? I was looking at building a server for a home system here. Just to build a server, $50,000. You wouldn't think that's bad. What comes down to being bad is the amount of power, which it would cost me $1,000 per month just to power the fucking server out.
And that's not including maintenance, upkeep, and stuff
Oh,
like that.
yep, you're right. That is not including any of that. And here's the thing: add the software fucking licensing fees, because Microsoft, in their infinite wisdom, and a couple other, let's use Linux, but
And let's not forget internet bandwidth either.
bandwidth. Oh god, the bandwidth. Fuck.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
we're
like,
just
come
kind
on.
of spitball again. Like I said, it's $1
I
million
don't-
that a year that you're spending to keep that server alive, especially if it's a high-end server. Have the IT people, have the power, have the maintenance that goes with it, all that other stuff. Plus, you got all the people that are coming in. So you have to kind of keep that in mind when
Which
when,
is
when
why
people
games
want
like
these
Final
games.
Fantasy and WoW work, because you got
Yeah.
a subscription-based fee.
Time out.
But
Hey,
let me
hold
finish
up.
this real quick before I forget my thought.
He's old.
I'm old and I will forget. If you get 10 years out of a game on an online game like that's free to play, or you buy one-time game, that's amazing. Honestly, I thought back before now, 5 years was tops.
Correct.
5.
Yeah.
Now we got 10, 15. I mean, I was looking at the crew. 15 years it's been going.
Yeah,
so?
yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
It is.
Honestly, I'm shocked
Well-
they made it that fucking long.
Yeah, I
So,
know, right?
there you go
Well,
with that.
AI garbage. It's all fine and dandy, especially for nonprofits and stuff like that. I get it. But how long would those nonprofits last for?
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxy, you have to have an original copy of the game. You have to pay to a shady credit card, because I actually thought about doing this.
Yeah, I did too, and it's
I
security,
have the original
trust,
copy still. Yeah.
and effort to modify the game to be able to do it, and
Yep.
it's not worth it for me.
Oh,
So it's
and the level of control you give up on your computer. Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like, to kind of know,
No one's been screwed yet, and people are still playing that. But give it time.
it's cool, and I know it works, and people like it and stuff like that. But I'm sitting there going, it's like nonprofits, they don't last for very long, and if they do, it's amazing, but they don't last for very long.
Yeah, it's. I have seen EverQuest. Here's the thing, EverQuest. They're on EOD, I think EOE
Yeah,
or EOA. I can't remember.
I think you are.
They those servers. Star Wars is not on that, but you have EverQuest and City of Heroes. You also have DC Universe online. They also do Star Trek. They do a lot of games. Star Trek Galaxy's Edge is not one of the games they do that for, and they do make money.
AI garbage, you're way too trusting, especially with. All right, I'm sorry. I'm reading that last message from you, and I'm befuddled with how you can say it's open source though, so it's pretty safe.
No, it's actually not open source. They actually have to pay a licensing fee to the old gaming companies that did that. They actually, what was it? They still pay to the holder of the rights of those games still, because those are like $5 a month games, I think, or something. I don't know. I haven't played them in a while.
Well,
but when I used to, you $5 or $10, depending on what game you were playing. No updates, and if there's a security issue, it never gets patched.
Well, there are some notable scams that have actually happened in EverQuest, especially with this version of it.
Oh yeah.
You had the economy being completely bamboozled, which again, a lot of the looting happened and a lot of stuff was resold on the black market. That was one of the massive scams that actually did exist, and that was an in-game thing. There are some notable incidences, exploits that do exist, and unfortunately, sometimes it takes the I'm going to call them games masters time to flush that fucker out, which turns off the game for some of the community. So yeah, you're gonna have to make sure that you have people that are trustworthy 100%. Sometimes you'll get it. Sometimes, well, you just walk yourself into a Chinese server that's not trustworthy. So
there's a
you
lot of
really don't know. Hell, there has been massive account hijacks, because people again fish for weak security, and you again allow this
Like I said,
game
you're
or
gonna get
allow
patched.
these packages to go into your system to communicate with their system in order to play said game. So
And
now you're running that risk of maybe somebody's got a backdoor program attached to it, and it's in there. So now they're fishing for your shit.
and and to counter, because I think I know what might come, is like, well, you have to take precautions on your end to protect your system and make sure you have, like, all these other protections on your end to make sure that doesn't happen. People are stupid and they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, plus you have some real money traits that exist still in these games that
Oh god, yeah.
no one really wants to talk about because they always want to put out the good shit and never talk about the bad shit. Unfortunately,
I know.
these exist.
I know what Debbie Downers. I know what black pilling is really hard, but in it, it's the reality of it.
Like I said, those games are almost 20 years old, and they're still going. But there's a high level of risk on those older games. There's a high fucking level of risk.
Yeah,
and that's a lot. That's honestly, look at Final Fantasy 14. Oh god, I think it's got almost 15 years now, but they keep updating it.
Yeah.
That's, and like you said, they're actually coming out with another Final Fantasy Online. They have to.
Yeah, they are. I mean, look, Final Fantasy 11 is dead, technically.
But 14 is still going.
It is on its last threshold. It's on its last legs, and you. I mean, look, I have some longevity games that I would like to have back, like the original Guild Wars, but we're not gonna get that. We got Guild War 2, which is not the greatest out of all. But again, it was the original was a better WoW clone than WoW. It did WoW better. But unfortunately, sometimes you're not going to get players that want to play RuneScape for the rest of their lives.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
perfect
be right
example.
back.
You got Overwatch. There you go.
Yeah, no.
Everybody loved Overwatch. Everyone hates Overwatch 2, but gotta keep Overwatch 2 over Overwatch, and
Yeah,
that's the way it is, and it sucks,
it is
but
what it
hey,
is.
it
But
is what it is. But
I understand the
I do.
concept. Hang on, I understand the concept to try to reverse engineer to try to get these games to play legitimately, and to have these companies not come in and to strike these motherfuckers down on whatever legal term that they want to go with. It's a really good initiative going forward, but it has a lot of fucking problems. And unfortunately, the biggest core problems, especially since we're not talking about the old games, and you brought this up in the last previous conversation, we're not talking about the old games. We're talking about the newer games. The newer games, not EverQuest, not Final Fantasy 11, not Star Wars Galaxy, the newer games. So the newer games you do not own. You are licensed. You're leasing them. And they come with a caveat. They die. The first thing you guys want to do if you want to keep that game living is change the rule on the licensing. That's it. Pretty simple. Change that terminology and then you'll have more people coming to the table.
But even then, you can't change that rule of licensing because the reason why they put that in there is so they can ban people when they decide to fuck over other players and cheat.
Yeah. So there is, unless you can come up with a better idea to prevent cheating in games, which good luck
Good
with
luck.
that. You're going to be stuck with the licensing so that they could revoke it at any time, or you're looking at IP banning and you're never going to play the game ever again, and you're going to bitch about it because keep this in mind: the moment that you open up the door to cheaters is the moment that game is dead. It's going to die on its own because of the cheater base.
Because nobody's gonna want to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have some edgelords out there that'll go, oh, you want to cheat? Well, let's see how bad you can cheat against me. I'm gonna cheat you even more. You're gonna have people like that, but they're the ones that kill games faster than anyone else.
Yeah. So
But I wanted to talk about this one thing too about yesterday's stream.
yeah.
So I had a commenter today come in on that video of that stream and wanted to say a couple things. Now, I'm going to preface this of I'm going to share on the Kiwi Farms right now.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want the farms to take offense to it.
All right.
Because this is something I've talked about before in the past.
Mhm.
You can't believe everything you see on the forums. Most of the shit you see on Kiwi Farms is a lot of gossip from a lot of fags.
Yeah.
So, the forums can get a lot of shit right. They can also get a lot of shit wrong. And for the most part, a lot of the stuff you see on the forums is theory crafting. And a lot of beating puzzle pieces into place that probably don't go into that place. Now, with that being said, yesterday's stream was not about Thor himself. It was not about the person Thor. It was not about his past life. It was not about anything he's done in the past. Nothing to do about any of that. It was about
Was it about
what
Odin or Loki?
No. Jesus fucking Christ.
What yesterday's stream was about was his statements on this initiative, Stop Killing Games. That's all this is about. I can give a fuck less about who Thor is, who he used to be, what kind of fuckery he did. I don't care. So I'm gonna showcase some stuff because I'm just gonna spotlight it. And this person has an issue because they have been hidden from the channel because I don't deal with bullshit like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. They can bitch and whine to the ether.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, this person comes in and goes, "You haven't even read Jason Hall's thread on forums. Shameful." Now, surprise! I have read the thread, and I discounted it because it's a lot of theory crafting. They have some stuff in there that they think is like this. They have a lot of people.
They had theory crafting. Hang on. They had theory crafting, and if they thought they got Jim Mediker.
Yeah.
And they still to this day do not know they got Jim Mediker.
Yeah. So I have read the thread and I disregarded it. because one, it had nothing to do primarily to do with yesterday's stream
No.
at all. So I go back in and it's like 1.5, 2, don't care, has nothing to do with anything else, with this, anything else, and it didn't. You obviously haven't, which it's like obviously have. What's your point? Posted the thread on it because whenever I said there's a lot of retards out there bitching and complaining about Force Take that didn't read or watch it. That included Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, and Kiwi forums. And I'm gonna preface this too. There's a lot of people I don't like that do have threads, and I will mention one by name, Spectre. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't like that motherfucker. But I'm also gonna tell you this: they have a lot of shit wrong about him too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't believe everything that's on the forums. The only thing you can believe is what there's actual fucking tangible proof of. Not theory crafting, not I think, or I hate this guy, I'm just gonna say this. So afterwards, it's like, should have read it carefully before making a video that is a digital BJ for Mauled, which I ended up talking to somebody on, and it's Moldava, Moldvos, or something like that. According to who I talked to, I guess it was something to do a long ass time ago. Hang on, I can bring this up real quick on Motivus. He was a Second Life fag that was in Liber Vertigon's bitch. Okay.
All right.
One, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't know who those people were. I don't know what they are, and I don't care about anything to do with anything like that. It's like that wasn't the point of yesterday's stream. So it kind of comes down to the last part of this. It's like, cool. Do I have to reiterate what I said long ago? People who gossip with only speculations on the forums are retards, and they are. Josh has even said this. Yes, he has.
Yep.
Because let's face it, if you're gonna do that with Thor, you gotta do it with Josh. What did Josh do before fucking he took over Kiwi Farms? Well, that shit follows around and he fucking hates it and bitches about it all the time. Something about because he pulled like the veto gimmick a long time ago when he was 16, shit like that. So you know what? People do a lot of dumb shit back in the past. I'm not gonna fucking hold it over their heads for 10, 20 years down the road. Fuck that shit. Anyways, I don't care for someone else's opinion. I deal with facts. I see gossip and hammering puzzle pieces into place. Who do you think the retards are I was talking about? Now, make your point. Is it furry stuff because there's allegations of him furry and stuff like that? Because there's furry artwork and all that. I don't care. If he's not throwing in fucking people's faces, he can be a fur fag all he wants. I don't fucking care.
As long as he's not Vito.
Yeah, the raw stuff. Yeah, here's a tard. We went through that yesterday. And yes, what we looked up is nowhere on the forums. You can't find it on the forums. It's really highly suspicious when you have somebody who's advocating for games who claims to have made games that the making of games is editing and reverse engineering the game to make their own game.
Well, mostly voice acting for a game or something on that basis.
Or something like that, editing game or modding game to make it his own game, bitching and wanting game companies to give up the IPs for everyone for free with no issue. It's really odd to me whenever you do shit like that. And that is me theory crafting. That's my opinion. So, so I don't know what you're trying to get at. So everything that's on the forums about Thor, I don't care. It wasn't the point. And then they preface this about my point has already been made in my first comment. This video is shameful. And let's just go back. His first comment is, you haven't even read Jason Hall's thread on the forums. What point are you trying to make? You made no point. His thread has nothing to fucking do with what we talked about yesterday. So whenever you're going to make disingenuous arguments, when you're going to come in and just try to ad hom and go, oh, well, you just didn't read the fucking Cuban films, right? You didn't believe other people's fucking gossip of opinions and mine, and it's a very achievement. You're getting banned. Fuck off. I don't care.
Freeman's Mine, a Half-Life Machinima series created by Ross Scott. Huh. Interesting.
Ross has made games.
I don't know if he's made games or whatever. I'm just gonna go with what we got here. Okay. So he's done Let's Plays, that kind of thing. I can see that here. And again, this is the mini wiki for this particular player that we're talking about here. That most people have jumped on the idea for the bandwagon of. And again, you guys are just a small ticket going forward. You're great. You're still not going to be able to convince the rest of the pretty close to 3 billion players to agree with you. If you can do that, great. But it's going to be a hard one. I never seen it, and I really don't like the Freeman character from Half-Life. I've tried playing Half-Life. It's a boring fucking game. Hard take, and anybody who plays it and anybody who likes it is a fucking loser. It's a fucking loser.
Half-Life?
Especially a whiny fucking loser who's still on this bitch train that wants Half-Life 3 to be a thing. And realistically, nobody in Valve at the moment wants to create Half-Life 3. They barely wanted to create that VR game. And that was just a gimmick.
Yep.
So yeah, their basis going forward for all Valve related games is whatever buddy that feels like making at that time frame, and it doesn't matter which coder that comes in.
They've been fucking trolling that game for so long. Remember, said we have an exciting new announcement for a great new game.
Fuck yes.
And then it was a card game. It was a game.
Yeah.
My
I fucking laughed my ass off.
my only thing with Ross, and my only thing with Ross is it's very suspicious that the most avid advocate for this push, that if you read it and you actually put it in perspective, is forcing game studios to give up.
Yeah.
It's forcing game studios to give up the IP after a period of time to people that has went through and made quote unquote games from other IPs.
But Sparky, again, we'll get rid of that portion of it. The one that you should be really focusing on. The only reason why he went onto this fucking tangent is because of the fact that the crew was taken offline. That is the only reason why this is a tangent. This is a thing. If the crew was still ongoing, this would not be a talking point. This is where the contingent. This is how this all started.
That is the only.
This is how this all fucking started.
Yeah, that's the only evidence that he's pointed to. So yeah.
Yeah. So and he was an avid player for the crew until it was taken offline. He refused to go over to he probably did go over to the
Play
crew
fucking
too,
Rocket League. There you go.
Yeah, but again, regardless of the factor, that is his point of contingent. He wants the crews to be able to play it still with his buddies. You know what? I don't fucking care. The game is an online featured game. Most of the player base, if all of them, went over to the crew too. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a lot of people who play probably the crew are probably just nostalgia people who will probably move the second the game's gone. Anyways, so that's generally what happens.
Moodle has been hammering at, game preservation. Hey, guess what? Guess who else has been hammering on game preservation? The completionist.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I used to hammer on it until I realized how much it costs to keep those fucking servers going. And it's just a fact of life that you have to move on.
Like it or not, I believe in game preservation to a point.
Yes.
If we're talking about single player games that were strictly designed to be single player and had an attachment of a multiplayer feature to it, then we're good to go. And I mentioned this in the last show. But we're talking about live service-based games. Unfortunately, even the fans of the older games that have managed to kick around don't have enough player base to realistically keep certain servers alive. So they know that they're not going to be able to go into the high-end servers. Realistically, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
And they are costly. They're not cheap.
Very.
Okay, and that's the player
Mhm.
end of things. I'm not talking about the server end of things. The player has to put out a pretty good amount of money in order to play that fucking game with people.
Yep.
All right, if you're willing to put out $100 a month, a year to play that game, go for it. Find a way to do it. But if you're not willing to put that out, then why even try? Plus, you've got to remember, you have to be dedicated to that game. You cannot play any other game, theoretically speaking. You have to you're going to have to put that in the roster of this is my life going forward to play that game. So you're going to
Mhm.
be dedicated for that game throughout. Because you have to look at your Steam collection that you have, and I bet you have a Steam collection of games that you've never played or barely even touched now.
Same here.
Oh yeah, there's. Oh god, let's see. Let's see.
Because me personally, I have 2,000 games, 2,000 games on my Steam library, 2,000,
Damn, that's a lot.
and I only touched a fraction of it, like maybe 2% if I'm lucky. And I keep joking that one day I'm going to go through all the games and I'm going to play at least an hour of each one. Never touch it because I keep adding more games to it.
I have 172. You would press me.
I know. Thank you. Thank you.
But here, okay, I'm looking at this right now, and yeah, there are I have 172 games on here, and there are games I haven't touched ever. Stalker, the Call of Prophecy, Call of Prophet. I got that with actually. That's the first Steam game I have. Do you know why I have that Steam game, bro?
Because it was free.
Yes, it came with a graphics card.
Yeah.
Back in the day, with back in 2000, I think 5, 6, something
There you
like
go.
that.
Yeah. Stalker's
my
a good game, by the way.
Yeah, on my Steam library, I have 46 games, and I probably only touch about 5 of them within the last 6 years.
There you go.
So there's 46, and if I count everything else, I've got about 20 NES games. I've got 10 Sega games. I've got 15 SNES games. I have 12 N64 games. I have 25 Game Boy games, 5 Game Boy Advance
Yeah, Sparky.
games.
We were just talking about Steam.
Yeah.
If I
go through and catalog all my games, yeah, maybe I have under 100 in total for everything.
Yeah, see, I limited it down to just Steam because some have the Epic account. You have all those free games that come in, plus whatever Epic games that they lock in for the year, 6 months to a year, and then you have other games that show up from GOG or you may get them from Humble Bundle or whatever. So you end up getting a huge catalogs of games, and yet no one really plays all of those games. Some of them are live services, some of them are not. Some of them are single player games, some of them are mobile games. But regardless, at the end of the day, not all of those games that you have on the list are still going to be functional by the time you get around to them. Like it or not, that's just the way of life for gaming. Hey, that's just the way of life for life. Not everything lasts. Hell, not every book lasts. Some artists just disappear off the face of the earth. So we just have to accept the inevitability in a few things. Yes, you could probably save a small handful of games, very small handful. But again, you guys are focusing on the newer games, all the licensed games. You should be focusing on the games that you can get physically, that you have control, that you can control and make a server for. The license games, again, you have to change the ruling of the licensing. You have to make sure that people know and understand that they're buying a license to play that game. No one really understands or grasps the fact that they're buying a license for that game. I knew that going forward, the moment the digital games became a thing, the moment they first showed up, there was a lot of young people that liked the idea that they didn't have to rush out to buy the hot game they can just simply download it onto their computer or whatever it is that they have, console, blah blah blah, and then play the game right there. They don't have to wait in line. They don't have to get a fucking pre-order and all that kind of stuff. They can just simply, it's an ease of use. But what they didn't know as they were growing up is that they were licensing the game. They really didn't get the game for real. And then anytime that they got a game on their birthday, it was usually physically copied. It wasn't always, here's a bit of money, put it on this little game card that you can purchase and download whatever game it is, like the Steam card or whatever you want to call it. You didn't get the pay to download card. So you got a physical copy of the game mostly when you were a kid. And again, I'm assuming that you're in your 30s. Anybody that's going to be listening to this going forward, 30s and that. So you motherfuckers got the easier life of downloading a lot of different things. But guess what? It came with a huge caveat. A huge fucking caveat. One that you still don't understand today, some of you.
And
Actually,
actually,
don't own it.
let me segue this over to, because I know I've had this argument come up to me a couple different times, because Louis Rossman chipped in on this he supports Ross, and you know what, that's fine. If you want to support him, that's fine, whatever. But I'm also gonna tell you right now, Louis Rossman is not the go-to. I am a right to repair advocate. I like the principles and stuff like that he wants to go to. However, Louis Rossman is flawed in a lot of stuff. I'll give her one example. So, one of the things he's been going at for Tesla, John Deere, and some of these other automobile manufacturers, give people the right to fix their vehicles. Simple enough, right? No, back in the good old days, anyone could go grab a wrench, walk on a vehicle, and stuff like that, right? Let's go back to those days. Easy enough said. Here is the problem with doing that, because a lot of this stuff is computerized now, and a lot of it has a lot of legal ramifications too. So one of them being emissions. Guess what? One of the biggest things that people like to do: delete emissions. Guess what? That's highly illegal. Now, you can do it if you want. Your own vehicle, do what you want with it, and that's the sentiment from everyone. But the problem is, you can't delete emissions on your vehicle because it is illegal. Now, the reason why these manufacturers don't give out the tooling or the software and stuff like that, Louis Rossman beats on the fucking table for: give owners the ability to fix their own stuff. The reason why they don't, because people fuck around with it and they remove shit and they delete it. Here's one of the things that auto manufacturers that he doesn't understand. People have told him, he's kind of coming around to it. He still has that frog brain that Ross has of, oh, well, we'll just change the laws. It doesn't work that way. Auto manufacturers have to encrypt their programs. And guess what? Bound by law to not give it out to people to be able to circumvent. Once they do that, hey, guess what? It's like YouTube not capitulating to DMCA's Safe Harbor Act. They open themselves up to liability. Well, so as much as I love right to repair, can't happen.
Regardless,
fully.
Go, Jermax. What are you going to say?
Well, for cars, it's kind of interesting because they've locked down it to where they don't let the outside the mechanics like they're supposed to have access to that. They literally are by law required, so they can repair the cars. Because if you end up relying,
they do.
No, they a lot for a lot of them they won't anymore. Like here's the funny thing: Tesla, they could outsource they won't. You also, for the electric cars, they won't do it because even though it's open source, even though all that fucking shit is open source, they won't, which is hilarious. So if you get a Tesla, you have to have someone that has actually pretty much cracked the software in order to do anything to change it up without Tesla.
So in the end, at the end of the last bit that anybody needs to keep in mind. It can be done. It
Mm.
you just have to go through a lot of legal hurdles and try to force the publishers to bend to your will. And being this is going to be focusing on Ubisoft mostly, and this is a French-based company. Uh, Macron is willing to bend because right now he's going to be changing the on the Notre Dame's glass a mule that they have to something more modern. So that could happen, but here's the other catch, and something I mentioned before. You're going to have to deal with politics that are going to be added into it. So there'll be
Yeah.
certain selective games that they're going to push through. They may not be your game, unfortunately. On top of that, yes, it will set a precedence going forward if it is successful. But then you're going to have to go back to each country is going to have their different ruling of what can be done. And again, it's not going to be unilateral. Now let's say still we get this pushed through. We have the server maintenance cost. Somebody's got to absorb it, and realistically, the publisher is not going to do that, so that's going to fall onto the consumer. You have the development cost for the infrastructure updates. Again, who's going to pay for that? Because the developer is not going to pay for that. They're going to put that cost on the consumer. You have the legal compliance cost that goes with it. Again, another cost. Who's going to absorb that? Think about it. It begins with a C and ends with Umer.
Mm-hmm. Like I said,
Then you
Coomer?
have the the consumer, yes.
No,
Uh,
Coomer.
Coomer, yeah, that too, right? It feels like yes, but then you have the economic impact that comes with that on the smaller studios, especially. You keep forgetting that we also have to include the smaller gaming studios in this conversation. You're just focusing, guys, are focusing on the big picture, guys. You forget that the smaller companies are now going to be indie people that have these live service games are also going to be affected.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of them have done it to where it's co-op, to where you could do it on your own computer without the
Yeah,
servers.
but some are actual live servers.
Yeah, oh yeah, some are actual live servers. Yeah.
So
now,
again,
yeah.
at the end of the day, we're going to wrap this
Mhm.
bad boy up. This conversation ends.
Yeah.
We have said our pieces. We've done. There's probably a lot more that we could talk about, but right now we've done overtime. We're almost in the 2 hour mark. So unless
I'll say my last piece on this. Up to you.
yes, unless you guys come up with something better that's going to be effective and easy to implement across the board, that's not going to cost the consumer a lot going forward, let me know what it is. Sparky, you get you at least. I'm going to give you a minute,
All right.
and we're going to have to wrap this up.
So the whole stop killing video games aspect reminds me of the old vote for me for class president. I'll give you all free candy. It's a nice sell. Whenever you go through and you put forth out there, we're gonna preserve games forever. We're gonna make games access forever and stuff like that. It's good to say on paper. It's really good. It's everything that everyone can agree with. The problem is, especially whenever 4 pinpoint on it, same thing we pinpoint on. There's a lot more to it than just that. You can't just throw out and go, we're going to do this and not answer these other questions. There's a lot of hurdles, a lot of background, a lot of things going on behind the scenes that, frankly, I just don't see you being able to get over, because if you unlock everything that you want for Stop Killing Video Games, you unravel everything else, ranging from books, movies, art, anything that is not video games too. It's just too concrete in stone to be able to deal with it. So until, like what Greg said, you come up with an actual solution that will actually work and you hit the actual problems and not just sit on a fucking soapbox going, we're gonna save games. You don't have me, because it's stupid.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming for yet another fun edition of Televisable. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We covered a lot of different things, from Stop Killing Games to a little bit on Doctor Disrespect. Hell, we actually did I'm not going to say eulogy, but a bit of a bit of reflecting on Concord and what happened. And we talked about a game called Legend of Dragoon. So if you liked it, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever it is that you're supposed to do. I'm going to give these last fuckers their last rights. I hit buttons. Get the fuck out of here.
You go first, Mark.
Fuck y'all.
Remember, folks, don't be a Coomer.
be a consumer.
Jesus Christ.